Hello, welcome to Sage Time. I'm Lillian here with your Libra in 2024 reading. So, of course, this is for all those who have their sun in Libra. And, of course, we are all 12 signs. So, whichever house Libra is placed in your natal chart, as well as any other planets, points of interest that are in the constellation of Libra, this is something to consider while listening to this reading and how this reading relates to those planetary aspects within Libra of your chart or the house within which Libra resides. So, Libra, happy 2024. Very interesting initial point of energy that has come through. We'll see how it really translates throughout the reading, but I'm feeling this. It's very different than the standard generalization of Libra. Libra is ruled by Venus, and the aspect of the Venusian coming together of justice, which is demonstrated by balance more than how Western culture uses the word justice. So bringing in a balance and reconciliation, but what's interesting about it is I'm feeling less of that easygoing sense that I often get from Libra energy, especially Libra sun. Well, definitely Libra sun. And I'm feeling more of there's something coming in for you guys this year that's going to help you in the long run, and it's a bit of a heavy hitter in energy, not necessarily a person or a circumstance. It's more of an energy that is playing through you in the year of 2024, or your house which Libra resides in. So, and I'm feeling it in the cards as I'm shuffling, or when I was shuffling, and now as I'm working to pull a plant spirit medicine card for you, Libra, for the year 2024. This will be a plant that you might want to consider connecting with energetically, feeling into the spirit of the plant that comes forward for you today. Connecting in the heart and in the sensational body, seeing what lights up. And as you can say the name of the plant out loud. You can simply picture it in your mind. Feeling how it is unfurling and blooming and growing within you in those moments that you're deeply connected. And if you do that for a period of time in a meditative type state, you'll feel the implantation of the spirit, which is always from a place of love, throughout your body and influencing you. So what a beautiful countering to what I was feeling and saying before with the Libra energies. Chamomile, inner peace. And this really must be the counterbalance magic and medicine that wants to be present for you in the energies that I'm feeling are coming through for you for 2024. So let's see what the tarot cards want to say about the influences that will be presenting themselves. Let's get one or two more here. I'm using the Guardian of the Night Tarot cards. All the information on the decks that I use in today's reading is in the description box below, as well as if you are interested in exploring nuances and details of your astrological natal chart. It can be a wonderful tool and resource of insight to navigate. Oh, and I don't think I mentioned, I will be at the end of this reading discussing more of the detail of the flower chamomile as to what is coming up specifically with regards to this reading. So let's get started. And these two cards came out together, and normally it's very clear for me which card wants to come first and which doesn't. And in this particular case, I kept switching them back and forth from first to second, second to first. So the Fool card, 0 point, still point, and the Ace of Swords, they are interchangeable as the first and the second card together, is how it's coming through. Ace of Swords, I'm hearing this, your Ace of Swords, your ace in the deck, is being in a continual recalibration of the Fool. Which is interesting because the way that the Fool is coming forward here, we see this wolf walking on what looks like a precarious sheet of ice over the water. It looks like it wants to crack and split. And he's pursuing the rabbit being, of course, the prey, and the wolf being the predator. So which is the Fool? The rabbit, who knows that its back paws have greater surface area and its weight is much lighter, and because it is prey, the rabbit has much higher sensitivities and can feel the density of the ice beneath it, so it knows where to step and where not to. And it knows that by standing in a position and holding, that the wolf will not be able to resist the temptation of walking on the ice, even though he's walking on thin ice, and the rabbit is aware of this. So here we have two types of fools, and also in the background there's a companion wolf howling at the aurora borealis. So we'll get to that later. But the rabbit and the wolf on ice, two types of fools. The rabbit being the Fool in the sense of moving in accordance with its senses and its wisdom. It doesn't have a lot of other tools. It can't fight back. So it has to be very highly keyed and tuned into its many refined and non-apparent skills and tools that it has, right? Those deeply sensorial aspects. Also recognizing the pattern, as you can see the pattern on the ice, the pattern of the predator. So I'm hearing that you were once the one Fool, which would be considered more the wolf. Maybe not in the sense that you were the predator, but you were trying to live by the predator rules. The old stories of, and maybe they're not old to you yet, but the stories of how things are done, you know, in Western culture or wherever your culture is. This is how things are done, and they're done this way because that's reality. Stay in reality. But when you are in a position of greater vulnerability, every time an individual will develop highly sensorial and transient and mystical, mythical, magical, dimensional abilities, all really weighed against, balanced in that sense of Venusian justice, the hardship and struggle that you've been through. And so I think that there is this reflection and recognition that you were playing with the wolves when you were a bunny. There's this phrase that came to me a few years ago as I was breaking the ice of the old paradigms of how I was going to exist in the world from what I was taught versus what seemed too far out there and magical and surreal and everything, but also at the same time was simultaneously showing me that not only did I fit into that more magical, mystical paradigm of reality, it worked for me far better. And so this sentence came one day, I think actually it came from my daughter. She swears she didn't say it, but I heard it. And she said, "Mom, you're a dolphin, and dolphins have no business swimming with the sharks." Need I say more? Being a rabbit isn't about being the prey. It's about using your circumstance and your position in life with what you have and what you don't have to develop skills that those who move by more rote strength and aggression and polarity can't even begin to fathom. And that's where you come to, in the background, that wolf who's howling at the aurora borealis. He's not howling at it, I should say. I'm hearing a correction. He is communicating with the harmonics that are coming through the atmosphere, the colors, and he is co-communicating. The colors are speaking to him, the waves and the movements of the aurora borealis are in communication with him, in return to his communication affecting the colors and the shifts and the movements and the shapes. And that, my friends, is your ace in the hole. And you can see this morning glory is what's holding the Ace of Swords, with the laurel wreath being penetrated through that, what you see in old Greek images, the crown of laurel, the accomplishment. This is really what you have been working at and what you're continuing to dial in all the way for the year of 2024. And you're allowing, like the Fool energy, the no thought energy, you're allowing yourself to fine-tune really new senses. You're opening yourself up this year to new senses like the bat, discovering that the deeper senses of what we call the clairs, clairaudient, clairvoyance, claircognizance, clairsentience, these different clarities with our different senses of the body. The layers of depths are not necessarily so directly related. Of course, we think clairaudience, you can hear things that, you know, conversations or things from distances that would not be perceptible. And then there's a deeper and deeper and deeper level of clairaudience. When you think about the bat or the whale, how they hear is totally different. They're not necessarily using their ears, nor are they necessarily using the parts of the brain that we would connect with auditory processing and receptivity. And there's something about this morning glory that wants to come through. It is morning glory, right? I keep thinking how it spreads like nobody's business. Morning glory does. And here in my area of the world, it's a bit of a pesky plant because it takes over like ivy does. It's not coming through yet. And I'm not going to just insert some definition. So we'll see if it comes out later. And then the last card that has come out so far is the Hangman. You have the possum. The possum loves to hang upside down. That's where he rests. That's where he rejuvenates and renews. And that's where he advances in his own healing and personal development, because he takes that time to hang upside down and swing, and it sedates him. sends his cerebral, cognitive, hamster wheel spinning thought processes into a quiet stillness that allows him to access things like those. I'm hearing that's really where you're going to start tapping into the areas of your deeper, more sensitive sensories, is when you enter into that hangman state and allow everything else to just wash away and drop away. By doing that on a regular basis, sometimes it won't happen, sometimes it will, is what I'm feeling. By doing that on a regular basis, it's developing a more accurate term for it, but it's like a trust within the self of, like what I'm hearing is if it were within me, it's like these inner parts of the self that are trying to communicate with me are saying, I can trust you to do what's best for me now. So that's what I'm hearing now, is your eyes are opening up more and more to what it really means to do what's best for you. And you're clearing the table, you're clearing off the desk, the work desk, right? Of all the things that the world and your job and everything else says you have to do and who you have to be and how it needs to be done. You're just enough. I'm just seeing this. And you're leaning back in your chair at your office. And you're saying, there's something more to this world for me than this. There is something more to me, is what I'm hearing you say, than this. And I'm feeling this really keen intrigue of wanting to discover who that is, a bit of a archaeologist into the unknown parts of who you really are. That is exciting. So we are really going in a different direction, and I wonder if what I was feeling at the beginning of the reading, that non-Libra, more rigidity, is what you have been within in the last year, couple years, maybe your whole lifetime, really. I'm feeling that, your whole adult lifetime more. And there's something lighting up inside you, and you're lighting it up too. This is no more of this. I'm more than this, and I know it. And I'm hearing you, I'm feeling you say that from your heart. Yep. So then out comes again the Six of Wands with that laurel wreath, the crown. And here's all these lemurs, right? They all look the same. But then there's this king lemur at the top. And he's like, I may look like you and move like you and eat like you, but I'm not like that. There's more to me than that. And so you've climbed this, or you are doing all the non-doings, all the letting goes. I think you're really letting go of circumstances and potentially relations, and maybe not letting go as much as creating a space for you, being your own king, your own queen. I'm hearing king, whether you're a man or a woman. You're being your own king, the sovereign ruler of self that says, who the heck am I? And I'm seeing all these little like pixelated dots above and around the king lemur. And they look like eyes and faces coming through. And I'm really feeling like it's your higher self that's coming behind you and guiding you and kind of animating you, because you're opening yourself up, and you're doing this with a very sharp and convicted intention. And here you are, King of Pentacles. You are your own bowl, your own mind. There's this star, the 5-point star at his forehead, and this crown above his head, and the star is protecting. That particular symbol is a symbol of protection from other people's psychic influences that are saying this is the way things are and the way things were and the way things are meant to be. And it's not that traditions aren't important. You're realizing that these traditions, it's time for them to evolve or shift. And Libra, are you a fixed or a cardinal sign? I think you're a cardinal sign. And so saying what is the highest expression of and changing it from what it was into something new takes some groundbreaking determination, is what I'm hearing. This bull, he may have thin legs and hooves, but he is weighted down and saying, I'm doing this. And yes, I'm creating fun little fireflies that are flickering around in a crown made of stars and beautiful sunflowers and other blossoms around me. And it looks lovely, but it's going to take determined effort and will, but a will that is balanced with the astute sensitivity of the rabbit and the releasing of knowing, the releasing of being right and of being smart and being better. You're releasing all of that. Like, you're not seeing yourself as better because you're changing or evolving or adapting. You're seeing yourself as self-honoring. And it's really all about you, but not in that self-involved, self-absorbed, or whatever way that you want to think of it. It's more of I know if I honor the truth of me, I can honor the truth of you to everybody else. You know that, and you know that you can bring that into your relationships that are staying with you, but you're moving to the side for a bit. And you know that those that stick with you, even if there's space for a time, and you're in communication with that need for space, you know that that which is for you will be returned to you. And that which isn't can lovingly and respectfully be acknowledged and released and let go of. This is such a wonderful reading, Libra. So I would like to move back to your card, Chamomile. And here we have again the delicate nature of the deer, the sensitive nature of the deer, like the rabbit. They move and listen and make their way through the world in every aspect, consuming, releasing, moving, creating. Everything they do is with heightened intuitive senses that we can only postulate and observe and then make really assumptions. But there have been recognitions. What is it that I learned recently about the deer? And it has nothing to do with when we used to think that deer can sense a hunter because the wind, they caught the smell, or the shift in the birds and everything. And it's not that I think that those aren't true, but there's been some new research that has shown that they have those clairs, the clairvoyance. They can see the clairsentience. They can feel within their body, absent of any other external indications. And so they're using this more collaborative communication of what they're hearing and smelling, or not even, what they're sensing, and they're allowing themselves to communicate with the environment in an obvious way and in a very deep, unseen way, communicating with the plants. That's what it was. A human that's stepping on plants, several meters away or whatever it is. The plants are emitting a sound and a sensation that the deer can pick up on. It's something like that. I think it actually is exactly that. And I'm seeing this taking more time to rest, to let that gentile sensitivity of you be born from you by that self-care that you're taking. So let's read what it has to say. Ooh, nope. Almost right to the page. Inner Peace of Chamomile. Genus and species name is Matricaria chamomilla. Peace, restoration, softness, purity, graceful power, inner peace, delight, and harmony. The word chamomile is derived from the Greek chamomelia, meaning ground apple. In Spain, it has been called manzanilla, or little apple, for hundreds of years. Interesting. Apple being very symbolic for wisdom, opening the mind. Yep, okay. A reference to the plant's refreshing, crisp, apple-like aroma. Chamomile flowers are traditionally used in teas, tinctures, and formulas to treat anxiety, insomnia, depression, digestive upset, as an antiseptic, and more. Chamomile was regarded as sacred in ancient Egypt and commonly burned as incense in an offering to the sun god Ra. Ancient Romans and Greeks valued chamomile for its medicinal properties and used it as a healing beverage to soothe skin conditions. During the Middle Ages, European doctors frequently prescribed chamomile syrups and ointments to treat various ailments. And it was used as a bittering agent in beer. Fascinating. Vikings regarded chamomile as one of the 9 sacred herbs and used it to soothe digestion and as a rinse for their hair to give their braids strength and shine. Although chamomile embodies the shining sun, I was going to bring that up, its medicinal qualities are also aligned to the archetype of the moon. The moon rules the gastrointestinal system, emotional body, and nervous system. On a soul level, chamomile flowers assist us in releasing stored emotional tension from our stomach and nervous system and solar plexus. Chamomile deeply nurtures our emotional landscape, able to soothe emotional distress and psychic stressors. So I think this is really going to be a kindred for you in the challenges you may be facing with some of this stuff. So the guidance says, if you find yourself often triggered and consumed by small stresses, be aware that they accumulate, creating a chronic state of disharmony and fear. Chamomile today is reminding you to not project your fears onto life and others. Allow yourself a state of internal peace and give yourself the greatest love imagined. Chamomile, like deer energy, instills a contained center of innocence, warmth, and light within us. Deer blesses us with the power of gentleness to heal our wounds and the heart-mind of wounded beings. Don't push hard to do the work. It's the gentleness of spirit that heals all. So yeah, this is a beautiful kindred medicine, plant medicine, and plant spirit to work with. Thank you everybody for being here. I appreciate all of you and your presence, and I appreciate the subscribes and the like button hits and comments if you feel comfortable. It supports the channel, and of course it supports me so I can keep growing and developing and creating content for you to enjoy as you move and navigate through this year and beyond. Thank you everybody. Have a blessed, wonderful year.